Hi everyone. In this section, we can discuss about a double block brake, or we can also name it as double shoe brake. We already aware about single block brake. We done some problems regarding single block brake also. Now this is the double shoe brake. Here, two hatched area on the opposite sides of a drum. These are the two blocks or two shoes. Okay. These shoes are connected with another fulcrum, and the fulcrum is positioned on the bottom side. Then there is a bell crank lever which is situated on the top side. There is a spring also adjusted here. It is for the losing the block brake after pulling or after force applied. Now, during the free time, the wheel will rotate freely. While we applying a force here, the two blocks will automatically come to the wheel. Now the braking will happen. So we need to study how the torque will act on this figure, on this section. Therefore the torque we can write it as T is equal to Ft1 plus Ft2 into R. Then what is Ft1 and Ft2? Ft1 and Ft2 are the tangential forces on the respective shoe. So here we have two shoes, so we name it as 1 and 2, and the tangential force acting on first shoe we can name it as Ft1, and that of the second one we can name it as Ft2. Generally used in electric cranes, these type of shoes are this type of double block brake are used. Now we can discuss about a problem. The block brake diagram as shown in figure is set by a spring that produces a force on each arm equal to 2800 Newton. The diameter of the wheel is 320 mm and angle of contact for each block is 110 degree. If coefficient of friction F is equal to 0.4, determine first one the maximum torque the brake is capable of absorbing. Second one, width of the shoe if the bearing pressure is not to exceed 0.28 megapascal. Now we can go for the figure. This is the figure. Here the angle of contact is 110 degree and the distance from the center of the drum to the fulcrum center is 200, and one more thing, that is distance from the center of the drum to the force side is 300 mm. Then the distance between these two fulcrum, this fulcrum center to the center of the drum is 50 mm. That of other side is also 50 mm. Now we can go for the given values. What are the given values? Here the force is acting by a spring. So force is given, that is equal to 2800 Newton. Then the diameter of the wheel is given, or diameter of the drum is given, that is equal to 320 mm. Then angle of contact of each shoe we can name it as 2 theta, that is equal to 110 degree, or theta is equal to 55 degree. Now the coefficient of friction is already given, that is equal to 0.4. The bearing pressure is also given, that is 0.28 megapascal, which is given in the second condition. Now we can go for the torque. We know that T is equal to Ft1 plus Ft2 into R. Now we have to find each Ft1 and Ft2, but here the value of 2 theta is greater than 60 degree, because here the given value is 110 degree. So we have to find the value of mu dash or F dash instead of F, or instead of mu. So coefficient of friction, there will be a variation because the angle of theta is greater than 60 degree. Here it is 110 degree. So we have to find mu dash. What is the value of mu dash? Mu dash or F dash is equal to F into 4 sin theta divided by 2 theta plus sin theta. Here theta is equal to 55 degree. If we substitute these values in this equation, we will get mu dash is equal to, we will get mu dash is equal to 0.456, 0.4596. Now we can substitute this value in the following sections. Okay. Now consider the right side. That is, we have two shoes, right side and left side. Consider the right side of shoe and just consider the right side itself, and we can compare this side with, in our data book, page number 267, figure C. What is that? Clockwise rotation. Clockwise rotation of drum. Now A is equal to 300 mm, B is equal to 200 mm, and what is the value of C? C is the distance from the tangential force to the fulcrum center distance. Now it is radius minus 50. What is that value? 160 minus 50 is equal to 110. And if we substitute these values in the general equation, that is the equation on the right side, F is equal to Ft1B divided by A plus B into 1 divided by F dash or mu dash plus C by B. If we substitute this value, we will get Ft1 is equal to 2568 Newton. Now moving to the left side shoe. What is that value? On the left side, it is considered as counterclockwise direction. On the same figure itself, we can take figure C on page number 267. For the counterclockwise direction, F is equal to Ft2. T2 for the second block or the left side block. Ft2 into B divided by A plus B into 1 divided by F dash or mu dash minus C by B. If we substitute all values, we know all other parameters here. Now we can find the value of Ft2. If we find the value of Ft2, we can complete, or we can find all the value of torque. How we can find the value of torque? T is equal to Ft1 plus Ft2 into R. These values are already given. That is equal to, we already calculated. That is T is equal to 1099.78 Newton meter. This is the first case. Now moving to the second case, they are asking about width of the shoe. How we can find the width of the shoe? We already discussed in the previous problem. That is P is equal to Fn divided by projected area in the block or shoe. That is, we can write it as pressure. Bearing pressure V is equal to Fn max divided by B dash 2R sin theta. Then what is the value of B dash? We have to find that with B dash. All other data are given. Then, but we don't aware about N or that N1 value. How we can find the Fn1? Fn1 is equal to Ft1 divided by mu dash or F dash. If we substitute these values, we will get Fn1. Similarly, we can find Fn2. Which one is greater? That is used in our bearing pressure equation. So, we have to find Fn1 and Fn2. Here, for Fn1, the value is equal to, the value for Fn1 is equal to 5587. But for Fn2, it is equal to 9368. And the maximum value is 9368. So substitute this value, that is 9368 in the equation. Then we can find the value of B dash. That is the width of the brake. That if we substitute all the parameters in this equation, we will get B dash is equal to 128 millimeter. This is the condition. And moving on to the continuation of the question, the question itself we can continue like this. If in the above problem the torque absorbed is 2000 Newton meter, determine the force necessary to set the brake. In the previous condition itself, they are given the torque value, that is equal to 2000 Newton meter, and they are asking about what will be the force necessary to set the brake. What is the value? T is the value that is equal to 2000 Newton meter. Then F dash we already calculated just before. So mu dash or F dash is equal to 0.456. Then we find the value of Ft1 in terms of F. What is that value? Ft1 is equal to 0.9172 into F. Don't substitute the value of F here. They are given the value of torque, And now we can go for the second side or left side. Similarly, we will get Ft2. It is not Ft1. Ft2 is equal to 1.537 into F. And finally, we can conclude this. That is, the torque T is equal to T is equal to Ft1 plus Ft2 into R. Now, the torque is given as the second condition. That is, 2000 Newton meter is given. And Ft1 and Ft2 we find the value in terms of F. Now if we substitute this value, then radius is also given. If we substitute these values in this equation, that is the general equation, then we will get F is equal to 5091 Newton. So this is another condition, another kind of question. So these are different. These kind of different questions we have to accept for the exam.